Subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss an update from First Post.
Hello, Madhuri ma'am and Dr. Shriram.
Hello.
Welcome to First Post. So, I want to start off by asking you guys, what was it that made you choose to back this film as your first production?
You know, when I heard the script, I loved it because I could identify with the characters. It's a story set in a chawl. And I had seen my relatives live that way. I had visited them, I had stayed with them. And it was very interesting because slowly that culture is dying out. We have these humongous buildings now, where high rises with apartments and so many people living. But there was a different fun of living in a chawl because everybody came together. Everybody knew what's happening in everybody else's house. They used to fight, they used to do anything, but if there's any crisis, everybody used to come together, band together and help each other. So I thought it was very interesting that we should set something in that kind of an atmosphere. Also, it gives you a lot to play with the relationships between people and how people behave as a community. So that, and I think it's hilarious. It's a funny movie. It has a great message, but told in a very entertaining way. And that's the kind of films we want to make. Films should be entertaining. What do you think?
I think I resonate with that because both of us come from similar backgrounds. The other thing is, she looked at hundreds of scripts when she was doing this over the last 5 years. And when it came down to it, not only that was this thing ridiculously funny, but the team was sorted. They were all award-winning artists, award-winning directors who had done many, many films before and sort of aligned with our thinking. At the same time, the process was really the, issue and how to take it from script stage all the way through to completion. We had confidence. But I think the main thing was it aligned with our values. It told stories which we were familiar with and ones which we thought needed to be brought to the screen because they kind of typified what's going on in India and more importantly in the Chawl system, which is quickly coming to an end, as high rises come up and everything else. And then there's always the love triangle, and then there's the, ridiculous zaniness which comes along with it. But I think it'll entertain people very well.
And talking about the process, how involved were you both during the process of this movie?
Well, I was more into the creative process of it, from the scripting to, choosing characters, casting. And that's where Ram came in, where we were casting and producing, and everything was his baby because it's a day-to-day thing, which has to be taken care of. Every day is an adventure because no 2 days are the same. So he's the one who dealt with the film on a day-to-day basis, making sure everything was done on time, within the budget, also looking at the rushes and seeing if there's anything we need to do. But I think we had a great, like he said, a great team working on it.
So, ma'am, this is your second foray into the Marathi film industry after Bucket List. Yes. This time as a producer and not as an actor. Yes. Can you tell me what is the difference between the stress levels and the emotions in both the roles?
Well, I think when I was working in Bucket List, it was great. It was like a picnic for me because everybody I worked with were familiar faces. Yes, the familiar faces, and I was doing something I was familiar with, and it's something I've done for 35 years
and excel at.
Yeah, but when I was a producer, I think it's a different role altogether for me right now. So there were days when there were palpitations and something happened on the set. What happened? I mean, it was nothing, but for us, it was like a big deal. Right. But he was there to take the stress from.
I think one thing to make a comment on and to add to this is, if you have a great team around you and you empower them to perform at their best, then you allow them the freedom. It gives them the creative license to produce something from their hearts. And in doing that, we had great confidence in this team of ours. And as producers, we didn't micromanage. I wasn't on their heads. We didn't do much other than making sure the budget flows and the operations and everything was in line. These guys were trained professionals. They had done many things before, and they did an exemplary job. Everyone from the sound people to the actors to the director to the EP and everything. And so, it was fairly turnkey. The other side of it is it gives you great joy. It's almost like having children. Rather than micromanaging being a helicopter parent, you can just say, look, these are kind of the values which we have. This is what we need to do, and we are confident you can do it. And you let them do their stuff, and then they come back to you, and you're so proud of them, and you're like, wow, this is awesome. So that was the joy of this one.
In a personal capacity, as an actor and as a producer, what do you think is the difference in her?
35 years in front of the camera, you gain so much street knowledge on what works, what doesn't work. And I would say the real interesting thing about this was that she could bring insights to the table which were mind-blowing. And for me, I'm a ingenue. I'm totally new to this, and I've never done this before. I read a lot, I watch a lot of film, I like to do that kind of stuff, but this was something where it was more a problem solver management issue as a CEO of a company. With her, it was the creative instincts, knowing the lighting, the DOP, this, that. She never had to get involved in most cases. After seeing the rushes, she could add just bits and pieces, and she knew how to converse with them in their language. And so it made it easy. As an actor, she's so focused, like a laser beam, and she walks in those shoes, right? People think of her as an iconic dancer, but the truth is, dance was a foundation to how she spoke with her face. That's part of the training. And that in acting actually brought her to a different level. So I would say in this sense, now she's kind of fostering more children, if you will, and helping them to kind of do what they do best. And that's the beauty of this package.
This is Netflix's second Marathi original after Firebrand. Tell me why you decided to release on Netflix as a platform, and also what do you think Netflix will give 15th August that a theatrical release couldn't?
I think, the beauty of Netflix as a user, right, is that you get to sample so much beautiful content, and it's free of all of the, time and other issues which you face, right? As a producer, it frees us to tell the stories we want to tell, and it takes it to an audience which is global. Look, we're very proud of what we do, right? All of us in this industry, and I'm a newbie, I don't know much about it, I'm the first to tell you that, but I'm so proud of what they've done. We make more films in India than anyone else on the planet. Now it's time to show them off to a whole world. So what Netflix allows us to do, particularly in this case, is to showcase something beautiful to 139 million homes, over 350 million people, all at once. But not just at once. Unlike the theaters, which after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it's gone, this thing's going to be in perpetuity. And so all of the work you do is available. And let's face it, everything seems to be going digital anyway. How you get your content is going to be up to you. That's the thesis on which our company is built and Netflix is built. So we align very nicely. The idea, though, is how do you get your content out and improve people's lives? How do you make them happy? How do you get them to enjoy something? I'm watching all kinds of crazy stuff from all over the planet, Korea, Spain, Mexico, the US, and I would never have had that chance before. Similarly, people are going to start watching our stuff and enjoying. And look, stories in the human condition are the same. Art imitates life, life imitates art. But the idea is that how do we get that out there so our audience can appreciate it and have better experiences? And I think this is an ideal opportunity. It will not replace the theater, but I see going forward that more and more people will be using it because it will free up their time. There's no thing that you have to watch it here or have to do it there. You'll get to sample, you'll get to do what you like. So I'm excited about the relationship.